What is up, everybody? I hope you guys are all having an okay start to your week. Obviously, we've seen some fluctuations regarding price action over the past week that have been very interesting. We see a green day and social media and Twitter, goes nuts saying that, the bottom is in, and that's fine to think. I am, not going to be opposed to people that are willing to have patience right now. I think that if you're buying, and this isn't financial advice, I think that if you're buying digital assets and you're planning to hold them for a couple of years at this point in time, based on utility, you're probably going to do okay regardless, because price action has been down so much. But the one narrative that I would advocate against in this space is the narrative that is, it cannot possibly get any worse. And I completely disagree with that. We've seen that multitudes of times in this space where we see major price action to the downside. And, the narrative, on a green day is that the bottom is in. This cannot go lower. And, just the facts are stating differently, obviously. And even with the news narratives, I think obviously you kind of see the price action already dumping. And then you see the news last week with Terra, Luna, and the depegging of UST, and you see the insolvency of Terra itself, and that price crashing down over 99%. We were already headed down. So looking at where we're at right now, certainly looking at that around $29,000 that we certainly do not want to break to the downside and close a weekly body candle below it, and looking back up to what could potentially reverse the trend. And when this dump initially occurred, getting above that, around that 39 to 41K level and breaking above it and holding that as support, which we obviously have not done yet. I do still think that we are, we could potentially have any sort of a run to the upside, but until the trend is reversed and we are no longer in a bearish trend, because I get shit on a lot for saying bear market, it's nothing for me to write home about. I'm not going to get overly excited. I'm trying to maintain patience and trying to maintain somewhat of a level head in this market. Even looking historically, these things sometimes take a little bit of time to shake out. I can go back to, this is the BLX, so the price action is not going to be completely updated. When we had an EMA, a 21 EMA below the 50 EMA cross, measuring from when that cross occurred, from where the price action was at in 2014, it took 52 days until we capitulated with a full bottom. 84 days with a minus 52% price action from where we were at when that cross occurred. If you go to 2018, another 84 days about, and another negative 51%, so about 51%. 2020 was the outlier, as I've talked about before, where price action had already capitulated when that cross occurred. Now the question we have to ask ourselves, are we going to see another capitulation event? If we do see another capitulation event and it hasn't happened yet, where would it potentially happen? So let's just say for shits and giggles, we measure from here, we measure out 84 days. Depending upon if that was a candle or not, you're looking at the middle of July. If you measure from the next candle, you're looking at the 25th of July. I would say anywhere from mid-July to early August will be really interesting, and maybe we see a rally in between there. I'm not saying that time frame is definitive for a bottom, but based on 2 out of 3 historical times that we've had these EMA crosses, it's been about 84 to 90 days, about a 50% drop in price. We are not at that time frame yet, and we are not at that price level yet to the downside. We have not dropped 50% from where price action was previously. So it'll be interesting for me to watch. I am watching. I'm watching the 210. Again, shout out to Crypto Crew University for pulling up this 210 instead of the 200. Yeah, just paying attention. Moving forward on the market, again, the whole thing around that is, if you're willing to, I think assets are very, very much so down right now. Obviously, that's a no-brainer, right? If you're willing to buy and hold for a couple of years, you're probably going to be fine regardless with utility-driven assets. The one thing that I will say, though, is, I'm trying to be patient enough to look for opportunities in this space. It's just my choice. My choice might not work for you. And I've said in previous videos, nothing against people that have a plan, and if their plan has been enacted through certain indicators that they're watching, starting to act on that plan, because we all know that it's fairly difficult to obviously catch the bottom in this space. But do I think that there can be further downside? 1,000%. Do I think that we might have a rally in the interim? 1,000%. Could we flip back to, a bull market, a bullish trend? 1,000%. We just have to get there, and we're not there yet. So moving forward, I see OnXRP with a great announcement again, and they touched base on this a little bit last week, but the bridge that they have been working on with Allbridge and Wrapped Finance is now fully functional. And MetaMask is successfully integrated, which is gigantic in my opinion. As a bonus, they decided to add BNB as well as Ethereum within this chain, continuing to test it out, and I'm sure we'll see updates when this is live. Stumbled across this today as well. This is IntelliBridge. Now, IntelliBridge announcing Cash 2.0 and a Cash Treasury product update, talking about certainly interoperating with the XRP ledger. So Cash was originally developed on the Ethereum blockchain and supports Ethereum assets. Roadmap plans to expand product offerings on Ethereum and Polygon have been accelerated due to the recent market collapse on the Terra blockchain, explains the CEO. The primary goal is to provide existing customers with support during the difficult transition period from the Terra blockchain to Ethereum. And they believe that going forward, offering customers a more diversified product and cross-chain interoperability lowers risk and gives them access to a diversified market of Web3 financial services on multiple networks, including Ethereum, Polygon, and the Ripple Consensus Ledger, aka the XRP Ledger. I don't know why they say Ripple Consensus, it's just the XRPL, but great. We see integration. Future of banking is Web3, so this is IntelliChain's website right here. They're FDIC insured for USD accounts with fiat stablecoin exchange, cross-border payments with real-time settlement, lower cost, MasterCard accounts coming soon. We can see that this is actually, publicly tradable as well. So there's a stock behind IntelliChain, IntelliBridge. IntelliChain is an old school ING, I think it was ING Bank, RippleNet initiative that will be interesting if they're still working on it. But this is IntelliBridge through Bourse Frankfurt, OTCQB, and CSE, the Canadian Securities Exchange. Looking even a little bit further, this is the Cash App built on Web3 from what it's saying here, selected for MasterCard's Start Path program. All right, you can give them a follow on Twitter if you're interested. Did want to touch base on this as well, though. So this is crypto ETC investment products of the ETC group are now tax-free after a one-year holding period in Germany. This was announced, I believe, yesterday or today. Europe's leading specialist provider of institutional-grade digital asset-backed securities announces that gains from its crypto ETCs in Germany will now be treated tax-free after a one-year holding period. This significant development comes about due to a recent update by the German Federal Ministry of Finance on tax treatment of gains made from virtual currencies and other tokens. You can look at what they're announcing right here, right now, but also we do know this was just probably 4 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks ago. ETC Group has also launched an XRP-backed ETC. So through ETC, if you are in Germany and you hold for more than a year, you essentially are going to not have any tax burden within those holdings, which is very interesting to me. Got to give a shout out to Wrath of Kahneman here. The dude is a monster of research. I forgot to retweet it. Ripple user Boss Money is expanding remittance services to Ethiopia. They will do so using Ripple partner TerraPay. Nothing to do with Terra Luna, obviously. The service will allow direct deposit into 40 million bank accounts across the globe, 17 banks approximately. And TerraPay is, a little bit of a behemoth here, 4.5 billion bank accounts, 1.5 billion mobile wallets. You can see Visa, we've seen previously Visa, has interesting relationships with some of their acquisitions regarding RippleNet integrators. I think Earthport comes to mind. I think Currency Cloud was another one. Western Union, Alipay, Bcash, MoneyGram is self-explanatory, So that will be very interesting to pay attention to. Stumbling on this today as well. This is the head of FTX, the exchange, obviously. This is Sam Bankman-Fried essentially saying that Bitcoin is not a payments network and it's not a scaling network. Just found that to be a little bit interesting. I think as far as scalability is concerned, it's going to have to be done through third parties that are trying to buy back carbon credits or whatever they're doing, just based on the energy uses of the network. Because the one thing that we always, and even the Lightning Network, is essentially just, it's basically just another Nostro Vostro system. And anytime that we've seen Bitcoin scale, this is why you see forks, because there has to be consensus within the network for updates to get pushed through. When there's not consensus and certain developers or incentivized, network validators within the network. Just, that's why we see Bitcoin Cash. That's why we've seen Bitcoin Gold. That's why we've seen Bitcoin Satoshi's vision. Like, these people had different visions about taking the network forward. And Bitcoin, I don't know if it's going to change. So, all right, China has been quietly building a blockchain platform through CNBC. This is the type of nonsensical rhetoric that we see. China hasn't been quietly building anything. They've been very publicly building the blockchain service network, even to the point of integrating NFTs. Now, what China is doing with NFTs is we're starting to hear rumblings of what NFTs would look like. Well, we know where NFTs go, right? Essentially unique items that exist within a blockchain, right? Or on a ledger. So, this moves very much towards birth certificates. It moves towards health records. It moves towards deeds and things like that. All of these things that are unique that we, including ourselves. So we see the mayor of New York essentially saying, making use of crypto technologies, blockchain to store birth certificates, property deeds, and other government documents is the way of the future, according to the New York City mayor, who is Eric Adams. It gets a little bit scary, obviously, what you can assume would be going on in the future within blockchain, within DLT, within NFTs. Essentially, my opinion is down the road at some point in time, and it may take years, it may take decades, we are all going to be kind of those unique items that exist within a ledger that is going to be managed. So, interesting. Flare. We're all waiting for Flare announcements. Launch roadmap update. The code audit is underway now. Starting today, Flare enters the audit phase with Trail of Bits, one of the most reputable firms in the space. This will run for several weeks, and provided no issues are found, Flare can potentially launch on July 4th. I know we've all been waiting for it. You can see actually the reciprocation of this within what's going on with Songbird's price today. But again, I will go back to Bitcoin and just trying to be as patient as possible. I'm still waiting to make a bigger move into Songbird. I certainly want to do a similar thing within Flare as well. The Flare rollout process, it's went over pretty in depth in this article. I will share this with you guys if you want to take a look at it. If you're not aware, Flare is building 3 core interoperability products. The first of which is F Assets, which is providing non-smart contract chain tokens such as Bitcoin, XRP, Litecoin, Algorand, and Doge with smart contract functionality on Flare. Obviously, Ethereum has smart contract functionality. Layer Cake, safe, genuinely decentralized bridges between smart contracts platforms, and safely relay any information. This is the relay aspect of interoperability within Flare, including off-chain data between any set of chains secured by the state connector. So Flare is certainly, in my opinion, going to be, something to watch. I believe that it's the potential to be an absolute behemoth and a monster in this space. I'm going to support the network. I'm just kind of, obviously I have my allocation from the airdrops, but I'm kind of waiting for that bigger move based on the market as a whole. Be really interesting to see if they can actually deliver and launch by July 4th. But again, these things take time. I've been preaching patience this entire time. I know a lot of people in the community, the XRP community, the Flare community, the Songbird community, which is a part of it, obviously, have been a little bit more impatient, but I'm choosing to go the patience route. I would rather them roll something out correctly than see what happens with, these initiatives like Terra, which is obviously a different reason why it crashed. But, I want the network to be sustainable, and I want it to grow out for forever. I don't want it to be, in some sort of hot water within 3, 4, 5, 50 years. I don't care. So kudos to Flare, kudos to Hugo. So last but not least, Expector. I thought this was really cool when I shared this yesterday on Twitter. Gigantic New York Times Square and New York City Expector billboards right here that are kind of live with graphics. You can see Dirk here and Mao. So awesome to be seeing these guys. I know a lot of people were saying this isn't real. Well, it's definitely real. So excited to see the XRPL again showcased in Times Square. I think Xpunks did it as well. So certainly happy to support and looking forward to see what Expector does in the future. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, none of this is financial advice. I'm just trying to, preach what I'm doing from a patient standpoint. And I'm really just not, I think there's going to be the potential for some great opportunities, but if you're already enacting on some of the opportunities based on indicators that you're watching, it's certainly something that I can applaud as well, because lots of people don't have a plan. Certainly suggests that everybody does have one. I will talk to you guys when I talk to you. Bye.